Well, hey everybody, how are you today? It's Sharon Hankins here from I Restore Stuff for another DIY Essential Stencil fun project. So looking forward to joining you all here, or you joining me to do another project. Just refreshing my page, looking for our live so I can see comments here because they're not popping up on my phone. Here we are. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I'd love to know. And if you are catching the replay, don't forget to type in the word replay. That's if you're watching the replay. Type in the word replay for a chance to win some Essential Stencil prizes in the next 24 hours. No, it's not wanting to play for me, guys. Hang on a second. There we go. There, see, now I can see your comments on my laptop down here from hi Kim, hi Carolyn, hi Kathy, Penny, another Kathy, Marsha, Billy, Annetta, Mary, Donna. You're all chiming in from all over the USA. Is there any Canadians in there? Any Australians? So I'm from Australia, where it's winter here. Hi, Rosemary. I am doing fantastic today. Thank you for asking. I am so happy that you are all here. And thank you for sprinkling the love. So if you want to share, there's a little share button there. You can share it to your page or a group that you're a part of that you know allows you to share DIY videos in there. We're going to be doing a project today that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, has anyone gotten any of the new summer stencil sets yet? I'm still waiting for mine to arrive. It's a long way here to Australia, but I received a notification today to say it's due today to arrive at my house, so I'm so excited. What if it even came and it arrived during my live? I would be excited and I'd get to show you some of the stencils in that, but they are there. Don't forget to use my code IRestoreStuff for 10% off all of your stencils, and you get $5 off the Stencil of the Month Club. I did a live last week showing Heidi's gorgeous stencil designs from the Stencil of the Month Club, and I showed you how to do a blending technique. So have a look back on Essential Stencils lives, or go to my YouTube channel or my Facebook page. They're all there as well. My page is I Restore Stuff, and that's where my blog is on my website as well. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest with that at I Restore Stuff on any of those things. So let's get started. Today I'm going to be working with the welcome to our porch sign. So this is the sign. Let me show you a close-up of that there. That's the packaging for you. So I've just taken it out of the packet to be prepared. But it's a welcome to our porch sign. Now the fun thing I love about this, and I haven't got to use it yet, is that so it comes with in sections because it's a vertical sign. Okay, so it comes in these sections, but look at those letters. So there's a little wreath thing at the top, and as with all of Essential Stencil's wonderful products, you can use them, interchange them with other stencil designs on Essential. So there's a little wreath thing there, and there's underneath wreath for the end of your sign. And then we've got all of the, so they've got the P and then the O and the R. But look at the 3D kind of look on these letters, and the C and the H. So look at the 3D look there. So I thought I'd work on that one today, because a few of you have been saying you found it a little bit tricky to do these letters where they've got a little bit of a, this thin line to work with. And so it can be tricky doing stenciling when you've got these really thin lines with thin bridges. They call those bridges. So we'll work with some of that today and see if I can help you with any tips on doing that. Joyce says, I just made one for my friend and it came out great. I am really loving seeing some of your signs. Now, I know Essential Stencil posts some, they have a feature Friday and post some of your signs. So do that. Please share them in our Stencil of the Month Club group if you're in there, or when Essential says to share a post or share a feature, or they're asking for your pictures, please do share your pictures. They love to share your work on both here on Facebook and on Instagram. So if you haven't followed Essential Stencil on Instagram, they're over there too. All right, so what I'm going to do with that now, the other thing I just wanted to mention is, I love to talk about the things that you can, oh, Billy says the O is the worst. And because I haven't done this yet, Billy, so I'll just pick up the O. So because the O, let's see, has these really thin little tiny bridges right here, we've got to be very careful because this little bit is quite fragile. So I haven't done this yet. So I'll see if I can be of any help with that. I do love to mention when we can work things around with the other stencils sets. So I just wanted to talk to you about some of the other letter sets today. And don't forget that you can find all of these on the Essential Stencil website. And use my code, I Restore Stuff, for 10% off in your shopping cart. So look at that little wreath symbol at the top there. You can use any of these letter type sets, and I'll go through some of them in a second, to do welcome to our, and then finish off your sentence. What could you put in wording underneath here to welcome to our family, welcome to our house, welcome to our guest room. You could do a whole bunch of things and then put the underneath wreath on the sign as well. So imagine that. Welcome to our, and then adding a word in there. Whoop. Adding a word in here. Welcome to our. Have a think. Let me know in the comments some ideas that you've got for welcome to our what. Or welcome, and you might just want to put a person's name. Maybe it's a new baby to the family. Welcome, and then the baby's name. So that's what the letter sets come in really handy. And I didn't put the link to those up in the description. I've got the link to the Porch sign. But if you just have a look at these on the Essential Stencil website and type in your I Restore Stuff code and you'll get 10% off them. So these are quite large. There are smaller letter versions, but these are the 5-inch letters. So the 5-inch letters for the alphabet there. So they're quite large and may not work with this one in particular. But just going through some of the stencil sign letters, there's the 2-inch skinny letters, which remind me a lot of the Ray Dunn style letters. And of course, they've got numbers that come with them and hashtags, brackets, all kinds of things. So you could use that, the skinny letters. Or there are the 2-inch Roman serif letters. Joyce says, the baby idea is great. Yeah, I love coming up with some fun ideas. And you guys are going to have some more in the comments, I can see. Welcome to our nut house, Penny had. That's funny. That's hilarious. Which is your favourite letter set out of the newer ones? You're asking me, Carolyn. I do like the Ray Dunn ones. I think they're a lot of fun. Hi, Vicky from Victoria. Are you meaning Vicky, Victoria in Australia? Woohoo! If that's you, if you're in Australia, that's cool. Hi from North Carolina. Welcome to our party. That's a great idea. Welcome to our chaos, Tony says. That is funny. All right, so another stencil letter set that we've got is the 2-inch Roman serif letters. So that's those there. They're a little bit bolder and probably suit more the same lettering as the welcome to our on here as well. So that's kind of if you're wanting to look for something for the similar font, that is the 2-inch Roman serif letters. So that's those ones there. So you could match up that. And they've got a few extra little symbols and things here as well. On the back, see the question mark, the @ symbol, and ampersand. And then there's another one that pairs beautifully with this. And it's called the 2-inch script letters. So the 2-inch script letters, that's it there. And they come in the capital letters and the smaller letters. But those script fonts actually do pair well when you've got a serif font and the script font together. Welcome to our, and you can put, or welcome, and then you put the baby's name or a person's name or something like that. I'm just going to look through your comments for some fun other ideas. Welcome to our farm. That's a great idea, Jennifer. I like that. Welcome to our pool. Yes. Summertime over there. I'm feeling cold right now, so a pool to me right now is feeling, oh, no. Hi, Rebecca. Now, I know, Rebecca, you're from Brisbane, so thank you so much for watching. Welcome to our family. Yes, So all of the babies born can have a formal photo taken with the sign. That's a great idea. I love that idea. So with those welcome ideas, you know, you can use that on a regular board. Probably it would fit on a board, you know, about the similar size to this, with your wreath underneath and whatever words you want in between. Welcome to our, right there. So I hope you like those ideas. You're coming up with lots of great ideas, guys. That is awesome. Yeah, someone else placed an order today for the welcome to our porch sign. The link is right there in the description of the live. And yeah, Christine says, I love the script letters, but they're not the easiest to figure out the placement for. Yeah, and I've done a live on placing your script letters too. Practice on paper first is a great idea, and getting them lined up. If you have a look through the other lives into one where I used that lettering, you'll find how I space out. I went through how to space out your lettering and that kind of thing. So that's another idea for you. You can check back any of the lives in the video section of the Essential Stencil Facebook page. All right, so for today's welcome to our wedding. Yes, that's another great one. So you could do it on one of those. Now I've seen those wedding signs to the entries of like wedding receptions or weddings, that they stain the board beautifully with a lovely wood and then put white lettering on with the stencils, or the black lettering, but the white really stands out against the nice dark stained wood, doesn't it? Hi everybody, thank you so much for saying hi when you're joining in, and for sharing the live right now with your friends or tagging someone. That would be great. Welcome to our garden. There's another idea. So you guys are coming up with so many ideas. Yeah. Okay, great. Lots of great ideas there, guys. Okay, so the sign that I'm working on today, and I found, would you believe I found this canvas in an op shop. We call them op shops here, but it's like a thrift store. You would call a thrift store. Isn't it huge? And I didn't know if it was, you could do it lengthwise like this, or you could use it long ways like this. So I decided to use it long ways for my porch sign, and I discovered that they did have a hook up on this top section here. So now I can tell by the back of the canvas that whoever did it last painted it, and they had painted it this kind of blue color with swirls and little cracklings and things like that in it. I kind of wanted more of a whiter background. So what I've done is I just simply dry brushed over the top of that previously painted surface so that you could still see little bits of that peeking through. Let me just stand up for a second. Oops, sorry guys. All right, so there you go. So you can see that a little blue peeking through there. All I did was I literally got my paintbrush. And we've got some sun flare going on here. I'll point it down to my project in a minute. I literally just got the paintbrush, dipped it in the chalk paint, and just dragged across the surface like that, really haphazardly, just to create kind of a weathered look finish. So that's all I did to create the background. And you can do that on any canvases like that you find in a thrift store. Pam's asking, what does sprinkle mean? So there's a few people saying that they're sprinkling the video. That just means they're hitting the little share button, they're sharing the love. See, at one point, Facebook didn't like us saying the word share because they would flag that as if we're being spammy or something. But we just want everyone to know that you can watch these DIY lives. So you can share or sprinkle the love and hit the little share button and share it with your groups or your pages like that. All right, so I'm going to point this down here and see if the sun, yeah, that's a little bit better because we're going to be working on the stencil here. Now last week I used canvases as well. Let me just move my letter stencils here. And when I used the canvas, I showed you how to use a book underneath to just give a bit of a harder surface for the canvas to work on, because if you're stenciling like this, it pushes that canvas in, it makes it a little bit soft. It's the sun coming in. Someone's asking, is it a light? Yeah, these sun rays shining in my room. Now I've got to make sure that I'm using the top where the little hook is first to do our welcome to our porch sign. Now, unfortunately, someone's going to ask me what size is my canvas that I'm working on today. I wrote it down 12 inches across and 40 inches long. Aren't I a lovely person speaking in inches when I'm Australian and we don't use inches? And it's about, so that's in centimetres, it's 30 centimetres by, I don't know, double the 40, like 80 something, maybe. I'll have to guess at that, I really don't know. Okay, so it is a canvas. So see where that book is? I've got a hard surface now. It's actually a little bit wider. It'd probably be ideal if the book was the same height as your canvas side width here. Mine's a little bit higher, so it's just going to sit up a bit, but it still gives me a lovely surface to be able to work on. Now, when I looked at this before, I won't be using the wreath parts today because they won't fit on. And in fact, I may not be able to. Oh yeah, I think I can just fit the word welcome to our on the top. So this, you can't really see it when I'm laying it out here because it's white on white, P-O-R-C and the H. Yeah, so I can only just fit it on my canvas. So to kind of measure out my bits and pieces, I want to put it in the center. Let me see which way I need to move this so you can kind of get it almost all in. It's the trick about working with vertical signs here. And I want to make sure it's centered vertically and centered horizontally. Well, you know, it's spaced out vertically anyway. And I will use my painter's tape. Got that handy today. And that one there, but like I said, I won't be able to fit the wreath in at the top, and I'm going to have to squish my letters in a little bit. All right. Let me see if I can turn this around slightly so you can see the end. I'm just using a acrylic furniture paint here, Fusion. It's coal black, so I'm just going to black on white today. Now with my stencil brushes, don't forget if you're watching the replay, just comment the word replay, but obviously that won't be any of you right now. If you're watching the replay, comment the word replay for a chance to win an Essential Stencil prize within 24 hours of our live. But the rest of you, Essential is going to be picking out the winners today at the end of our live. So stay tuned for that. Don't go anywhere. They're going to help me today pick the winners. And I'm so appreciative because it's a bit tricky trying to pick winners on my own here by myself. That will be fun. I look forward to that. Okay, I feel like it's a little bit tight up the top there. So I might be able to, as we do them, move them a little bit closer to each other. And as I move my book down, I can get that happening. All right, I've just painted this, so I don't want this painter's tape to kind of rip off the paint that I've just painted. So I'm going to put that on some fabric, and it makes it a lot less sticky, but it will still keep it in place. I'm just tapping lightly. I don't want to push too hard on that or rub it in too hard, so it adds a little bit of lint to the tape so that it's not going to rip the paint off. Okay, just going to pop that there. Now I just will move this one out of the way because it's covering up that very little shadow right there. And I'm going to see if I can bring it around a little bit closer to you guys. Now remember, I've got a book under here, so that helps my canvas to be, there we go. All right, how are you guys? Oh, that's right, I was going to show you and I might not use such a thick brush. Oh, that's right, I was going to mention to you too that Essential Stencils stencil brushes are back in stock. So when you're placing your order today, you have to remember two things. Add your stencil brushes because they're now back in stock. Some of you have been waiting for them for ages. Add your stencil brushes and add the code I Restore Stuff to get your 10% off everything that you purchase today. I'm going to use a Klingon brush today because I'm being sent some stencil brushes right now as we speak. They are in the air, flying all the way to Australia. So very soon I'll be able to show you the Essential Stencil brushes live. All right, what I did here, as many of you know, what am I doing? What is this called? Who knows? I'm not making special black blobs. If you're here for the first time today, let us know in the comments. I would love to know. If you're watching an Essential Stencil live for the very first time, let me know in the comments. Yes, I'm offloading. Perfect. Yes, you guys know exactly what it is. They're not special black clouds. I'm offloading the paint from the brush because the less you have on the paintbrush, the better it will be to stencil. So I'm just going to do the welcome to our up the top here, making sure my book is placed firmly underneath so it's creating a little bit of stability behind the canvas. Now with my brush, I'm just plonking it down and doing some little swirling motions. Can you see that? So popping it down, little swirl or swish into the grooves. Now you don't want to be brushing back and forth because that will cause the paint to bleed underneath the stencil and you'll get lots of little wriggly edges instead of nice crisp lines on your stencil. And that is also the reason why we offload a lot of the paint onto the brush. So you would think that I have hardly any paint left on my brush now, but there's actually quite a bit still there, and it's probably better to have less than too much and have it bleed under. So you can always add a second coat if you need to. I'm just dipping a little bit in the lid right there and rubbing it off. And once again, just popping it down and giving it a little swirl around. To create nice crisp lines. And I just mentioned before too that the Essential Stencil brushes are back in stock, guys. So don't miss out on those today if you're placing an order for the Porch sign or any of the other letters that I mentioned today. But using the code I Restore Stuff will get you 10% off no matter what you buy in the stencil shop. And there are some gorgeous summer signs. I was saying before, my DHL notification told me that they're coming today. I would love for the courier guy to bring them right now while you're watching the live. I would open them up for you and show you all the wonderful stencils that are in the shop right now. That's essentialstencil.com. Yes, we are offloading. Whoop, missing your comments, guys. I'm trying to try and have a look through to see if you've got any questions. If you do have questions, let me know. Okay, so we've got the welcome. It's looking nice and crisp there. So I'm just stomping and swirling as I go. And if you missed the beginning of our live earlier, I went through a whole bunch of other things that you can do with this wreath part, which I'm missing out on today. I'm not going to add the wreath because it won't fit on my sign. If you've just joined me, I just found this old canvas secondhand in a thrift store here around where I live. And I thought that would be perfect for one of the vertical signs. So here I am, creating for the first time. I haven't done this front porch sign, and we were talking about the letters being very 3D looking with that shadow part here. All right, so I've done the welcome to our, and I'm just going to lift up to show you that there. So nice crisp lines because we worked really hard at offloading the brush and just doing little swirling motions, not kind of brushing back and forth to get underneath there. All right, oh, comments are coming fast and furiously. All right. Again, offloading the brush just on some paper here. You probably can't see that very well. And now I'm going on with the P. So people have been struggling with these little extra lines here. So what I want to do first though, I'm actually going to add a bit more on my brush and not offload so much, because right here in the center there's a great big gap where we want to just brush as much as we can on the center. Notice I'm not going around near the lines yet. I'm just brushing and getting the offloading as much as you can on that center section. And same with the P, there's a whole big area that we could just offload, you know, a whole bunch there. So then I want to come back and just coming in from the edges, just putting our little brush down and swirling it around really gently. Adding a little bit more to the brush. And now I'm going to go just gently downwards, because this is a long stripe. If I go round and round here, see that little tiny, oh, what do you call it? It's bridged on there. So the little tiny thin line of the stencil is very fragile, and we don't want to move it because it's very easily going to be moved. So I'm just going to go down, a little bit of jiggling. So, and I always tell people to just practice first on a piece of paper or cardboard. So just going down here with the stencil brush, just down really gently so that I don't wriggle that skinny line, and I can get my 3D look. I'm going over the other side here now. Because this is kind of rustic, I don't mind if my brushing doesn't have full coverage, you know what I mean? So when I get to those edges, I'm just kind of going down a little bit, but wriggling back and forth rather than round and round, because the line is going up and down. So when the line's going vertical, just make your wriggles go a little bit more vertically. This just really gently does it. And a little bit more of the stippling motion is kind of helping as well. Hope you can see that enough. Now there's a line down here under the P, and I want to be careful, and I might even just tape that. I want to be careful not to get, because it's close to the edge, I don't want to get that P, the tape, I don't want to get the paint on underneath where that P finishes. Just put a little bit of tape there so that my brush, if it goes over the edge, it's not going to matter so much. And I'm going to try and work this one a little bit more horizontally, because the line, that little skinny line, is fragile, like we said before. Joyce is talking about there's lots of new exciting stencils on the website. There are. They are so much fun. The hunting ones. What's your favourite, Joyce? Let us know in the comments. Anybody else, let me know what your favourites in those summer stencils are. Oh, guys, you're so fast with the comments. All right, nearly finished this section of the piece. So notice this is taking me a little bit longer than I would with my normal stencils. If you've watched me before, some people have said, oh, you make it look so easy, because I'm like, done. But this one, I'm really taking my time because those little bits are quite fragile. Well, they're just a little bit more flimsy, I think is the word. But the effect you get is amazing with that 3D kind of look, the shadowing behind it. Okay, we've got our P here, just going to swirl off in the center here. Then again, moving along with that, I'm going to pop my finger right here in the center of that P, where that bridge is. Whoops, my rubber band has come off my brush. Get a clean one. The reason why I put a rubber band around the brush is just to tighten the bristles a little bit more, because they're very flexible bristles, because they're furniture painting brush. It's not meant for stenciling. So, and I may have gotten a little bleed there because elastic band oozed a little bit of paint off onto the stencil. Okay, wriggling and smooshing at the same time. Going around to the edges now and just doing that swirly motion, but just being gentle about it. So I tap and then swirl, tap and then swirl. You're kind of smooshing it in. And again, just going to pop my finger right here on this bit. Looks like we need a little bit more paint there. Offload. Jiggling, jiggling. The other thing that you could try is a roller. I think Amanda uses a roller and does that successfully, or makeup sponges. All right. Okay, so my pea is kind of covered as much as I would like it to. And yeah, there's a few little tiny spots that kind of bled a little bit. But there is the 3D looking. Oops, my paint is hopefully not going to tear off. My painter's tape is a little bit stuck there. Now the best idea is to wipe that off straight away, but I don't have my wet cloth here to do that. But have a look at that, see if you can see the sharpness of the edges. And I'm not too concerned that the black doesn't have like full coverage. But we want our sign to look fairly rustic. In fact, it almost looks too sharp for me, and when it dries, I think I'd love to just sand it slightly or lightly to give it a bit more of a rustic feel about it. See if I can just turn this a little bit more sideways. It's always a little awkward trying to fit a vertical sign on here. Okay, we're finished with that bit. I may need these bits of tape. So I'll just pop them here. I'll be able to reuse those for the next one. And now I've got that book underneath to help with the stability of the board. I've just got to feel where that is because we want it to be long enough to do the two signs. I guess I can always just move it along a little bit more. And maybe around. See, we've got comments going, oh, yeah, you're telling me all about the new summer stencils, guys. I'm super excited about them. Let me see. Hang on. Trudy says, how would we be able to make the shadow? I think you're asking about colours. Oh, I missed it. Now it's lost. And I can't go back again. I think the question was something to do with... Christine says, yes, it is chilly in Australia right now. I have long sleeves on. It's winter. We are in winter while you guys are hitting summer. So the question I think was that I saw, which disappeared before my eyes, was something to do with, can you make this shadow a different colour? And yes, you could do that. So you can either go back on that black afterwards and create it a different colour, or you could use your board or cardboard, or like a piece of cardboard or a piece of paper to just cover over while you're doing that section, the O. But you know what you could also do is just use a felt marker or a Sharpie to go over that, just that section there. It probably would be able to be done by hand. Okay, so now the key to this too is to make sure that you have your shadows on the right way and you don't have your letters back to front, which is pretty easy to do because the R looks backwards, and on here we've got this, on this one we've got the C, which there was a phone call coming in. If you did it this way, you'd see the C, but the H, you could easily mistake that and go the wrong way. So I'm grateful that they have a letter that it makes a difference whether you put it the right way or wrong way, because those shadows, you want them all on the same direction. Okay, now what I do notice is that I don't have, well, I could use my other one to line it up. What I do need to do is line it up correctly this way, and because the O is wider than the P, it's a bit hard to do with your eyes, so what I'm going to do is just pop the other one on just for a minute while I line this stencil up. So that's in the exact spot that we had it in, and then I can make my O go the right way. Okay, and just making sure the rest of my word still fits on there. Okay, if you missed this before, I'm just going to put this up the top here. Actually, I don't have to. That is a fair enough way away that I don't need to do it too much there. But let's have a look at the R. The R is just a little bit close to the bottom here. So again, and I'll rub the tape on my sleeve so that I get a little bit of lint to make it less sticky, but still effective. Okay, so this is going to need a little bit more tape because there's another bit over here. The R has got quite a long base to just cover up in case I go a bit too close to the edge. I don't want to get that black over onto the canvas right there. Okay, so once again, I could probably use a bigger brush too. Let me try it with a bigger brush and see if we can just get a little bit more coverage with these stencils. So again, I'm just using a furniture painting brush and I wrap a broken band. Okay, so that one's not going to work. I wrap a rubber band around the bristles to make them a little bit stiffer so it's not so flexible. Okay, oh, we've got 100 new comments. See, I have to scroll now through. So Sherry's giving that big hint again that the stencil brushes from Essential Stencil are back in stock. So you might want to get onto that as soon as you can and grab your brushes while they're there. They do sell out quickly. So, okay, dipping my paintbrush in the brush again. And don't forget to use your code, I Restore Stuff, to get you 10% off today while you're getting your stencil brushes and anything else you want to get there. Okie doke. Alrighty, so I've got the big brush now and seeing how I can just offload a bit of that into that center part. This is the O that everyone was saying, oh, this one's really tricky because we've got on either side of the O some very fine, tiny bridges. Now, bridges are the things that help our stencils actually have a center part, because without those bridges, we would have no little center of the O there, and that's kind of important. Otherwise, it'd just be a big circle blob. Offloading my brush, and now going back onto the stencil. Here's that part, that little tiny bridge. And if we're too rough with this, that O is going to slide around and mess around. So the other thing you're going to have to be really careful with these bridges is cleaning your stencil afterwards. So using vertical motions, don't go across because the bridges are very fragile. Whoops. So I'm just kind of pouncing and swirling at the same time. So pounce, swirl. I would also call it a smoosh. These are my technical words, you guys. These are my technical words for stenciling. Gwen's asking, I have a few points. May I use them to order the brushes? I hope Essential Stencil can answer that question for you, Gwen. They'll be able to answer that. I think you probably can, but I hate to answer if I don't know correctly. But Essential is great at going on and answering those kind of questions. Yes, Laurie, you answered your own question there, and I just answered it before, so I think you heard that it's not a stencil brush, it's a furniture brush, and I'm added the rubber band to make it a little bit tighter. Okay, just going to move this a little closer to the camera if I can. Getting a little bit more on my brush. Offloading. And again, we're talking about the letter O here and how the bridges on this, because we've got that 3D looking shadow, notice I'm holding that center down with my other hand and just pounce and smoosh, pounce and smoosh. Let's say it together. We should make a pounce and smoosh song. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, Jill says, would you show us sometime how to do a project with the letters, the 5-inch letters, to show how to have a shadow look? Yes, I have actually done a few of the shadow looks over the times that I've done lives here. So if you look back at some of the lives, I did an autumn vertical sign where I used shadowing. So I show you exactly how to do that. But yeah, I'll definitely do that again sometime in the future. Actually on my YouTube channel, you'll see a lot of the stenciling videos there as well that you can find easily. Shadowing, if you type in the word shadowing in the search bar, you'll be able to find those and how to do it. Just by moving the stencil slightly, but I love this, the way they've actually put that shadowing into the font. It's like an old Roman calligraphy kind of lettering, isn't it? Okay, I think I'm happy with that. We've got a little bit of rustic happening, but I've covered the edges, wriggling, pounce and wriggle. Smoosh and wriggle. Oops, I can't lift it just yet, guys, because we've got another letter to do. Now, stay tuned, you know, because Essential Stencil is going to be picking the winners today. Now, why I'm sliding it across there, I'm checking where my book is. I've got a book underneath there to cause that to be a lot more stable. Let's see how I can go super quick on these last ones without making a mess. Yeah, thank you guys. I'm just looking for any other questions or comments, but okay, so I've just got that large bit of the R that I start with, so any large parts, and holding this section down. I'm glad I changed a brush actually to this wider bristles, because that makes a difference in just getting a lot more coverage on those the large parts of the letters, you know. This will look great on my porch. Some of the porch signs that I've been seeing in the Stencil of the Month Club group and just here on Essential Stencil, or some of you have been tagging Essential Stencil's page in your Facebook posts. That's always a great idea, because then they actually see your posts and can share them both here on Facebook and on Instagram. And some of the front porch signs I'm seeing are lovely. There's those ones with the little boxes, you guys. They're crazy good. We've got a little plant box underneath. Who's been making some of those? Someone's been posting some really lovely front porch signs with the little boxes on them. They're amazing. Okay, this is a great big section here. I'm going to go around the edges this time first instead of concentrating on that center. And again, we've got that little tiny fine line there. Yeah, I'm doing it on a canvas, if you've just joined and missed that fact. I found a really super long canvas just in a thrift store, and I thought to myself, that would be perfect for an Essential Stencil live, using it on the vertical sign stencils. So here we are. Anyone else love thrifting out there? We call them op shops here in Australia. So I went op shopping. Found some fun things to stencil on. I'm always on the lookout for that. What's the most unusual thing? Here we go. This will be interesting. What's the most unusual thing that you've stenciled on? Tell us in the comments. Oh, the sun's shining on my computer screen. It's a bit tricky to see. All right, so I finished the R. That wasn't too... Oh, I'm getting quicker at this, guys. What do you think? Am I getting quicker? All right. Now I'll lift up that. See how we went with that O and that R. Yeah, nice crisp lines because we offloaded. So look at that. Aren't those letters just like, wow? They just really pop, don't they? That's amazing. Okay, so last one, and I'll quickly just tear these off so I can just use those again. Remember to clean off your stencils right away, because I don't have my cloth here to do that. It's likely to be sticking there. Just putting this over here temporarily, super fast, so I can line up my next stencil, because I want it to line up here with the edges. Okay. And I've got my book under there, so the book makes my, the book is helping firm the canvas so I can stencil on it well. And we get it all lined up. Okay, last 2 letters here, guys, and then we're going to pick some winners. Essential Stencil is picking the winners today, and they're going to be looking and just randomly picking from your comments. Okay, I think I might need an extra little bit of paint. This C has a big space area here. So I want to put my finger down on that center bit so that it doesn't move around anywhere. And again, the skinny little edge here where that join or the shadow effect is created with the stencil, the mylar. These are really good quality mylar stencils, by the way. I'm just going to do, remember I'm doing pouncing and wriggling at the same time, working my way all the way around that little stencil line, being very gentle and careful with the bridges. So you just want to pounce and wiggle, pounce and smush. Like I said, these are my technical terms for stenciling. Pouncing, smushing, wiggling. Yeah, these shadows are really effective. They look like they just pop off the sign, don't they? Who else is going to go get a front porch sign now? Oh, my book, I can feel, needs to be over here a little more. Smushing a little bit faster now. I'm trying to get this project done. Yes, we're talking about that shadow effect by moving your stencil slightly. I've done a few of those on the live, so if you go back and look at some of the Essential Stencil lives that I've done, you'll be able to see those there. I also upload these to my YouTube channel if that's any quicker to do a search on, but you will find them in the video section of this Essential Stencil Facebook page. Yep, Shauna says, I can't wait to try the stencil, but now I'm worried about the little thin part from the shadowing. That's why I'm teaching you how to do it today, because some people have said, oh, is that tricky because it's really, really super thin? So I'm showing you how it can be done. It's not that hard. Once you just make sure you're holding down with your hand on those center parts and do the official smush, wiggle, pounce, wiggle, smush. Okay, one last letter, guys. Whoop. Offloading my brush. And we've got the H to go. Need a little bit more paint on my brush, and I don't like to dip it in too far, but where is the paint down there? Oh, gosh. There we go. And wipe it off on the edge, and then offload on the paper. And now there's a great big section in the middle, so I'm not going back and forth near the edges. I'm making sure that's all in the middle. Then I go to the edges and just do that coming into the center with a little wiggle. And now this is where there's that thin line. I hold the center of the H section, going down with a little bit of smushing. Again, if you want to be sure, make sure you practice on some cardboard or paper. And even if you do practice on cardboard or paper, like even some of that lovely stock card, and it comes out perfectly, there you've got another actual stenciled sign that you can frame and hang it up somewhere. If you did miss the beginning of this live, I went through some of the different letters that you can add and combine with this front porch sign stencil with the wreath section, especially there's that little wreath feature to create whole new signs and looks. So don't forget to check out if you're watching now and missed the beginning part. Go back and catch that beginning part on the replay. All right, now there's a center bit here as well, so we're just going to wiggle that all the way across really gently. And the base here, wriggling that. Here's where our edges, I'm just going to go right over the edges. Here's that big section. Oh, someone's making a wish list. Got their letters on the wish list. And don't forget, guys, the stencil brushes from Essential are back in stock, and I know so many of you have gone, when are they coming back in stock? Today is the day. You can order stencil brushes, not these ones. Mine are on their way. They're in the aeroplane, flying across to Australia. All right, guys, I'm almost finished. So Essential Stencil is going to be picking winners any second now. So as I finish up, let's do a drum roll. Essential Stencil is going to be announcing winners. Tell me when you see the winners in the comments, and make sure you let them know congratulations, because I want to know who the winners are today, and I want to announce them out loud right here from my workshop here at iRestore Stuff. There they are. So let me see who our winners are today, guys. Woohoo! And then I'll take my stencil off and show you the last one. Congratulations, winners! Today our winners are Shauna Minia. Oh, sorry, the sun's like glaring on my face. How exciting! Whoops! Now it's disappeared. Now my pinned post has disappeared and I can't see them. Okay, I caught you, Shauna, and somebody tell me who they are. There they are. Shauna, Sherry, and it keeps disappearing, that's so funny. And Onika. So Shauna, Sherry, and Onika, congratulations, guys. You are our winners. Let me just finish. And you have to just email Essential Stencil at support@essentialstencil.com and let them know your details. And they will send you out a fantastic Essential Stencil prize. All right, let me just hold up my finished Welcome to Our Porch sign. If you missed the beginning, we went through a whole bunch of fun things that you could do using the top section, the Welcome to Our section. You can create a wreath at the top and a wreath underneath. And here it is. Look at those fantastic letters. Don't they just pop? So great. Okay, I've got to get way back here for you to see it. Welcome to our porch. So you may not be able to see that from way back there. Let me just bring it up real close so you can have a real close look at those letters. Don't you just love how those letters just pop off? That was my first time doing this lettering. So it isn't that tricky, guys. Just take it really slowly, really gently, and you will do amazing. So there's my Welcome to Our Porch thrifted sign, because I just picked that canvas up from the thrift store. And congratulations to our winners. Don't forget to use the iRestore Stuff code at the checkout. Grab your stencil brushes. And you've got the replay people, you've got 24 hours to pop the word replay in, and Essential Stencil might pick you for their 4th winner of this live. So I can't wait to see you next week, and I will catch you then. Bye.